Be back and better than ever. If that's true, why is he here? Please welcome to the program the always interesting, dynamic Donald Trump. Donald. Welcome to the program. Good to see you.
Nice to be with you, David.
You know, people have interest in you for a couple of reasons.
I can't imagine what that is.
Let's just get right to the stuff that people want to know about. First of all, are you solvent?
Well, I've had a hell of a year. I've had a good year. I had a miserable year.
First of all, are you solvent?
Well, I've had a hell of a year. I've had a good year. I had a miserable year last year, along with everybody else in the real estate industry. But this year has been, as you know, sort of from reading the New York press, a good
So apparently he's been talking like this way beforehand.
year for me. And the politicians killed the real estate industry, and we've done great.
Now, see, I don't know what that means when you say the politicians killed the real
Well, in
estate industry. What does that mean?
1986, they passed a tax change, 1986 law, which really, you look at what happened with Olympia, New York, and Reichman and everybody else, and it's big trouble.
They lost incentives. Real estate no
lost
longer became a
incentives.
good place to put your dough.
Exactly, and it's coming back strong now, and we've worked hard over the last 6 months, and I think we have really done a job.
Of course, now here in New York City, people may get a warped perception of how things actually are because the New York Daily News and the New York Post, every day, day in, day out, they take stories like you and other popular kind of stories like that, and they just sort of jam it down everyone's throat.
Well,
now, were you ever near broke?
I was never near broke. I was having a good time, and it was a good year to get a divorce.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back. If you don't mind, what did you have to unload?
Well, I didn't unload. I sold things. I sold a shuttle.
All right, the shuttle is no longer the Trump shuttle.
I unloaded the wife.
With Trump with a sense of humor.
Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Yeah.
Although it was a good year to get a divorce.
That ought to cost you a couple extra million right there.
It could have been a very expensive sale. And, but it was a rough year for a lot of people, and I came out really great, and I'm very happy about it. The casinos are doing record business in Atlantic City. We're up, I guess, 75%, and they're just doing record business. And we just got certified on the west side of Manhattan for the largest development in the world, actually, called Riverside South.
How many acres of land do you own over there?
It's 100 acres of land along the Hudson River behind Lincoln Center. And it's really a spectacular piece of land. And for 75 years, people have tried to get that piece of land zoned, and now we're going to do it.
And what kind of things are you going to put over there?
It's going to be residential. It's going to be studios. Maybe NBC would be interested. In fact, we talked to them originally about it. And tremendous parkland and waterfront property.
You know what I'd like to see over there?
What?
One of those water parks and maybe a go-kart track.
A lot of people would.
Water slides and like a mile-and-a-half go-kart track and stuff. It'd be great. It'd be a lot of fun.
A lot of people would like that.
But again, now I want to come back to this because for the reasons I stated earlier, people are interested, and the New York press kind of magnifies all of this. Were you ever really at a point when you thought, man, I'm down, I'm out, it's nearly Tap City for me?
Well, I was at a low point about a year and a half ago. I was really in deep.
You ain't that rich, Don. You can't come on here and say that.
Like, I feel like this is the genuine Donald Trump, the one that has a sense of humor.
It was sort of interesting. My wife was suing me for $2.5 billion, okay? And the day that I had the worst day of my life, about a year and a half ago, I had what's called a prenuptial agreement where if all else failed, and unfortunately I disagree with, divorce and everything else, but if it happens, it happens. The worst day of my life, Bad Story Times, front page, Bad Story Wall Street Journal, a year and a half ago. That was the final day that she said, I think I'm going to honor the prenuptial agreement, give me $25 million. And I said, this is no time to be honoring that prenuptial agreement, but I did. And it was sort of an interesting turn of events, but it all worked out well, and here I am.
I'm not sure I understand that last little thing, but let's go on to something else. H. Ross Perot, what do you think of this guy?
I think he's interesting. I think he's got a real shot. Again, I watch what happened with the real estate industry, done by the politicians to a large extent, and I'm very disappointed in the president for not having stopped it. The economy cannot come back. Very disappointed in the president for not having stopped it. The economy cannot come back unless the real estate industry comes back, and unless they put the incentives back into real estate. And the politicians are starting to find that. There's a lot of different things happening, and you could see some real movement in that. But I am very disappointed with the administration, what they allowed to happen to this industry. It fuels every other industry.
Okay, but let's get back to the question. H. Ross Perot, is he a legitimate candidate, a viable candidate? Could he step into the bureaucracy of the United States government and make a change, make anything work any better than it works?
I mean, he doesn't know his positions, and frankly, neither do I right now.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to see what happens. I think that he's certainly viable. He's got some great quips and some great color, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, with the Electoral College, anything could happen. You could have the two winners not winning and the third man getting in because it's a democratically controlled Congress.
Also, I, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I, stood to confirm and to strengthen him. And now will I show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. And a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be plucked up even for others beside those. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, and he shall be strong above him, and have dominion. His dominion shall be a great dominion. And in the end of years they shall join themselves together, for the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. But she shall not retain the power of the arm, neither shall he stand, nor his arm, but she shall be given up, and they that brought her, and he that begot her, and he that strengthened her in these times. But out of a branch of her roots shall one stand up in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail. And shall also carry captives into Egypt their gods, with their princes, and with their precious vessels of silver and of gold. And he shall continue more years than the king of the north. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces. And one shall certainly come, and overflow, and pass through. Then shall he return, and be stirred up, even to his fortress. And the king of the south shall be moved with choler, and shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north. And he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. And when he hath taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000s, but he shall not be strengthened by it. But the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army and with much riches. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. Also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come, and cast up a mount, and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him. And he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Thus shall he do. And he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her. But she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. After this shall he turn his face unto the isles, and shall take many. But a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach, he shall cause it to turn upon him. Then he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land. But he shall stumble and fall and not be found. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom. But within few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle.
He shall speak great words against the Most High. And yeah, he'll wear out the saints of the Most High, but they're not going to quit. He's just going to wear them out because he thinks to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until, a few days. He'll get it for a few days.
And it's going to be interesting. I mean, with the Electoral College, anything could happen. You could have the two winners not winning and the third man getting in because it's a democratically controlled Congress. Anything could happen. You could have the two winners not winning and the third man getting in because the third man getting in because it's a democratically controlled Congress. He's certainly viable. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I think he has a chance of winning.
Yeah. Oh, really? You actually do?
I think
Would you vote for the man?
I think the country is so down. I think we're in such a deep depression, and nobody wants to talk about it. The stock market's up. If the stock market went down, then we are officially in a depression in this country. And so many people are disgusted with what's happened. People that own homes. The stock market went down, then we are officially in a depression in this country. If the stock market went down, then we are officially in a depression in this country. So many people are disgusted with what's happened. People that own homes, their homes are worth 1/2, they're worth 1/3. You have a nice house, by the way.
Well, thank you very much. But again, would you vote for him? A man knowing what you know of real estate and finance?
Vote. I mean, I'd want to see some of his positions. Yeah. He hasn't made them clear, but I certainly would. I know him. He's a hell of a guy. He's a good guy.
Could you take him in a fight?
I think I could.
Person to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. And with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league made with him he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up, and shall become strong with a small people. He shall enter peaceably, even upon the fattest places of the province, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey, and spoil, and riches, yea, and he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds, even for a time. And he shall stir up his power, and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army. But he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, and they shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper, for yet the end shall be at the time appointed. Then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant, and he shall do exploits, and return to his own land. At the time appointed he shall return, and come toward the south, but it shall not be as the former, or as the latter. For the ships of Shittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved, and return, and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return, and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days. Now when they shall fall, they shall be helped with a little help. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries, and some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself, and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, by himself above all, but in his estate shall he honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver, and with precious stones and pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, and with horsemen, and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him.
You're playing with fire. You're playing with fire.